What's MegaCapitalG here, looking at a brand new fusion monster coming out in the Duelist Pack 19. This is a Chaz Princeton support card, which is definitely cool because Chaz is one of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh characters of all time. Manjume Thunder, shoutouts coming straight out of Yu-Gi-Oh GX. I love him because he's the only character that I've ever seen challenge a girl to a love duel. It wasn't successful, but it doesn't matter. I just love the balls on the kid to do it. So always an awesome character, and I like to see more Chaz support. The problem with this card is it is mighty powerful, like damn powerful, but God, this might be one of the top 5 hardest monsters to ever summon in this game's history, and I just don't quite understand the design of the Dragon Catapult Cannon because it feels like a card straight out of GX. I was gonna say Yu-Gi-Oh DX. Anyways, I'll go ahead and I'll read the effect, and then we'll talk more about how you will never, ever, ever summon this card. But I mean, at least you can look at it in your extra deck, and that'll be nice, I guess. It's a light level 10. This is machine type, obviously. 3,500 attack, 3,000 defense. So the stat line is excellent. The materials are VWXYZ Dragon Catapult Cannon and an Armed Dragon level 7. Keep in mind there's 4 Armed Dragons, I believe, not even including Dark Arm. That's something different, but I think Armed Dragon is level 3, 5, 7, and then it goes all the way up to 10. So you need to use number 7. Cannot be special summoned unless you have special summoned all above cards during this duel. Holy shit. You know what that means? That means that unless you summon Armed Dragon level 7 and this motherfucker right here, the VWXYZ Dragon Cannon, unless you summon both of them in a duel, you cannot actually even attempt to summon this card. Both of these cards are completely impossible to summon as it begins, so you have to do both of them to even attempt to get this guy out. Now, at least Konami made it a little nicer. It says must first be special summoned from your extra deck by banishing the above cards you control and or from your graveyard. You do not use polymerization. I mean, at least it's kind of nice. You don't have to control them. You can banish them from the graveyard, but that still means that you would have had to summon them at some point in the duel, which means that you're forced to run old shitty cards unless Konami's going to make some crazy cheat that I can't think of. The effect of this guy is actually pretty powerful. Your opponent's cards and effects that have the same name as any banished card cannot be activated. This is strong because based off the way that I'm reading this, it's not just your opponent's banished cards, but it's like your banished cards. So let's say somehow you have Macrocosmos face up and you Regeki your opponent. That means they can't use Regeki for the rest of the duel either. And when I read that, I was like, okay, that's kind of cute, but how are we banishing cards? But the second effect does answer that. Once per turn during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can banish 1 card from your main or extra deck, banish all cards from your opponent's field and graveyard. So that is an amazing effect. Like, that's like just ridiculously powerful. That is like Judgment Dragon plus Dark Law on crack. I mean, you banish their entire graveyard, you banish their entire field, and you get to do it every single turn. That is holy shit. And it only comes at the cost of like 1 card in your main deck or 1 card in your extra deck. Who cares about that? It's just 1 card. It's a really powerful effect. Not only does it wipe their board and their graveyard, but it makes it so that they can't use other copies of those cards. The problem is, I just don't get how you're supposed to summon this Catapult Cannon. Like, how? This seems like one of the monsters in the game that's like literally impossible. Like, what's that monster, the Sacred One or something like that? The one where you have to like banish 3 god cards on the field, and once you summon her, you win the duel. This feels similar to that. I don't understand why when you summon Armed Dragon Catapult Cannon, why you just don't win the duel, because holy moly, it's hard enough just working with the level monsters because they're so outdated. I know that I believe it's level modification that kind of summons them ignoring conditions, and your opponent gets to like draw 2 cards, but there isn't any easier way to summon this card. So I don't know, unless Konami's gonna somehow cheat the system, this seems to be a very, very bad card. Like, I don't care how powerful it is because you're never going to summon it, so what does it matter how powerful the card is? And it's really weird because it seemed like with this Duelist pack, Konami kind of was getting away from these really unsummonable anime boss monsters. You look at Bandit Keith's new Barrel Dragon, it's really easy to summon and it's good. You look at Pegasus's new Thousand Eyes Restrict, it's really easy. In fact, Thousand Eyes got their own fusion spell now. You look at Weevil's new bug boss monster, it's easy to summon, and he's got multiple ways of summoning any bug monsters, ignoring conditions. And then it's like Chaz just kind of gets the dick. He gets this completely unplayable mess of a boss monster. Like, I don't know, maybe they're gonna make some fusion spell in this set that makes it so it ignores summoning conditions and you get to summon this. That would be really dope, but as it stands right now, I cannot think of a way to actually summon this card. So it's like everything else is completely irrelevant. And you have to run old cards as well. Like, you have to actually run Iron Dragon level 7. Or who the fuck wants to do that? So you guys let me know what you think. I think it's kind of sad because Chaz is probably my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh character of all time. I was hoping maybe he'd get, like, I don't know, Dark Iron Dragon Part 2, but, you know, like maybe a little more themed towards Chaz, but I guess not. Anyways, leave it in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching as always. Subscribe if you have not already, and turn on those notifications for daily videos.